Hello, Elise here from Miss McKenna's Life Leverage, and today I'll be taking you through my setup for January 2019. I'm super excited about this month. I'm trying out a much simpler style, so it's really easy to set up and there's minimal artistic skill needed, but I think it's still really visually pleasing. This is definitely my most favourite monthly setup that I've done so far. It's going to be a great way to start the new year because it feels really fresh and simple and clean and clear, and I know for sure that it's going to help me with my organisation and productivity. The theme for this month is clouds, which was inspired by my life in a bullets plan with me for August, and it was actually the video that first inspired me to start my own journal. I'll leave a link for her channel in the description below because she's brilliant. I've been bullet journaling for just over a year and I've finally got into a steady rhythm and routine, and I'm absolutely hooked. I've got a few new spreads to show you, so let's just dive right in. I've been asked quite a few times now about the fonts that I use and how I improve my calligraphy. It's not really calligraphy, it's faux calligraphy because I just cannot get a handle on doing it with a brush pen. I've tried, I've watched so many tutorials and I've practiced, but I can't for the life of me get the hang of it. So I had to come up with a new way of teaching myself how to do it and how to form the letters and work out the spacing and all that jazz. So if you'd like to see a video on that, then let me know. So as usual, I'm starting with my monthly setup, and I've managed to squeeze all of my favourite elements of a monthly layout onto just one page. I've started with a traditional sort of block calendar. This one is great for helping me work out my timelines for projects and making sure that I'm giving myself ample time for each stage or process in a project. I'm not naturally good at timekeeping, and I often underestimate how much time something is going to take to complete. So now I break my projects down into smaller steps and I list each step on the calendar and I space them out through the month, making sure that I can complete everything by any deadlines I have. I find it much easier to see when things need to be done by in this format, and it keeps me accountable because I can see how much time I have before I'll need to complete the next step so that things don't pile up. This calendar it's just more of a sort of personal timekeeper. I've also given myself space for notes and tasks that are specific to this month, and then on the left hand side I've got a sort of monthly reflections area. I've got space to track the highlight of the month, the low point, what I'm really loving, what I'm watching, reading and learning, and then a space to sum up how I felt this month. It's a really quick and simple way to get an overview of the month, and it'll be really fun to look back on at the end of the year, so I'm hoping to include this every single month. On the right, I've got my vertical calendar. I started using a vertical calendar in October and I really loved it because it was easier to list appointments or events, but I did miss my traditional layout, so I'm really pleased that I've managed to fit both of them on one page, and I love that I can split them into personal project management and events/appointments because it helps me to compartmentalise the different areas of my life. To finish this page, I just added a few more cloud decorations and then that was it. The next spread I've got is a new one. One of my favourite ways to use my bullet journal is for productivity, and I came across a video by the Boosted Journal that shows how to create a productivity level tracker. I did try this in November, sort of midway through the month, and I loved it. But I forgot to add it into my December spread because it just wasn't something that I'd been using every month, so I forgot. But I've been missing it, so I made sure I included it for January. So for this spread, you draw out a large grid space with several sections so that it ends up looking like this. And then you start adding in some icons. Here I flip to the back of my journal so that I can track all the different icons and what they actually stand for. And I've categorized them into different categories. I've got home, family and friends, fitness, admin, work, self-improvement, and miscellaneous. Now I'm going to jump back into my current journal to show you how I'd fill in these spreads. So first off, at the beginning of the day or the night before, you'd write in 3 things that you plan to get done that day. So here, let's just say that I want to go grocery shopping, I have to cook dinner, and I want to hoover the house. Now at the end of the day, you'd fill in what you actually did that day. Let's say I tidied the bedroom, I did a bit of meditation, I went shopping, I did some reading with Tristan, and I cooked the dinner. So all in all, I got to level 2. Every day you repeat the same process. You fill in the top tasks at the start of the day, and at the end of the day, again, you go back and fill in your icons. The idea is you want to try and level up. Having the 4 levels gives you something to strive for, and it's a great way to help you work out what days or times you tend to be most productive, so eventually you can plan accordingly. There are lots of reasons that I love this spread. Firstly, it keeps me accountable. If I plan to do something, but I didn't end up doing it, I've got a visual reminder that it still needs to be done. It's also good for those things that you want to track, but don't necessarily do on a regular basis. Those sort of spreads where you think, when was the last time I reorganized the living room or checked my car tires? It's great because you don't need a separate spread for that. You can just log it all in here. Here you can see my completed productivity tracker for November. I've got a really clear and simple overview of what I got done that month, and I find it really satisfying to look at. I also find this spread to be super encouraging because it reassures me that I'm making progress when I'm feeling a bit down, because I can look back at how much I've achieved, even if it's something as small as changing the bed sheets. There's no limit to the type of things you can track, and it helps you to define your top 3 priorities. It's super quick to fill out, and by the end of the month, it's really nice to look back on all the things that you achieved or got done. Okay, so let's get back into the setup for January. Here I'm creating my tracker page, and I named it my Everything Tracker. You probably all know by now that I have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, so everything on this spread helps me to track my symptoms or what might be affecting flare-ups and all those kind of things. I've changed it up again this month. This is a completely different layout from what I've tried before because I wanted to add in a space for daily notes. So on the left-hand side, I've got a space for a line a day, and here I can write in extra details that might explain variations in the tracker. I can write the exact amount of hours I slept or the quality of sleep I had. I can write what kind of pain I was having or what part of my body the pain was most intense. I can write if I took time out to rest or if I did some gentle exercise. If I have a big spike or drop in my mood, I can write a note to myself as to why it might have happened, or if there was a particular event that day that might have triggered it. Basically, I'm just going to list anything that might have affected the different categories that I'm tracking, which are mood, energy, sleep, pain, poorly, and productivity. If you want to see how or why I track these things and how I actually sit down and analyze all this information I've gathered at the end of the month, in combination with my line a day pages, I have a video you can check out and I'll link that down in the description. All in all, I'm super pleased with the way this spread turned out. I love that it's functional, easy to fill out, but also really pleasing to look at. The next page is my habit tracker, and all but a few of the things on here are things I want to try to do every single day. A couple are things that I'm tracking just for reference, but most of them are sort of like daily goals that I want to achieve, but it means there's quite a few habits that I need to build. Luckily, I've already started implementing a technique for building habits that I discovered from Improvement Pill. It's the high bar, low bar habit building technique, and I'm already making way more progress with these goals than I ever have before, so I'm feeling quite optimistic about it. I have made a video explaining what the high bar, low bar technique is and how to implement it, so I'll link that in the description below because hopefully you'll find it as helpful as I have. If you haven't already checked out Improvement Pill's YouTube channel, you really should because he's got so much valuable information on there. Lots of really practical tips on how to improve your life and your mood and all those sort of things. So I will link his page down in the description. So this next page is a place to write how I'm actually feeling. I've got several different line a day categories that I've been using for a few months now, and they've been really helpful, and you'll see those in a moment. But I felt like there was something missing, and it's that I didn't have a space to write down how I've actually been feeling. This is a nice spread to have just for the sake of being able to journal and get your emotions out of your head and down onto paper. And also, it's nice to be able to look back on it in the future. But I also know it will be a page that will help me analyze the information on my on my everything tracker. So I'm really glad I finally added that page. This next spread is my meal log. One of the things I want to work on in 2019 is consuming a lot less sugar and eating more healthily and more regularly. And so this is a place to track what I've been eating. This page will also help me to see if my diet has been affecting my energy levels, which of course it will, but this spread means that sorry, my brain just went to sleep. But it also means that I'll be able to work out what specific things I need to be eating more or less of. There, done. I was thinking about re-recording that bit, but actually, it's a pretty accurate sort of. Oh, I don't even know. I'm having a real brain fog moment. So you can just enjoy it with me for a minute because I've completely forgotten what I'm doing, what I was going to say. Yeah, and it's a classic fibromyalgia brain fog moment. So enjoy it with me because I have nothing else to say about this page. So I might as well just ramble for a second. We're almost on to the next page. And ready, go. Okay, the next two pages are my line a day page where I write a short sentence on what I actually did that day. It helps me to see what I'm actually doing with my life, and it's also a good reference for when I'm analysing everything I track. And the next page is going to be my gratitude list, where I write something that I'm particularly grateful for that day. I've mentioned before that usually it's my friends and family that I write down in my gratitude pages. And this spread helped me to realise that I'm not paying attention to the things that matter most to me. I haven't been focusing my attention on the things that make me happiness. I've really lost it today. I just, it's Christmas Eve as well, so I don't want to have to keep re-recording this because I really want to spend it with my kids and my family and stuff. But you're important to me. I want to do. I've just, my the whole demeanor has slipped. This is crazy. Not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm just a normal person. I have to re-record this bit. Oh God. Okay, I have decided I'm not re-recording. It's Christmas Eve. I'm going to get this finished and I'm going to go enjoy Christmas with my family. So let's just pretend that didn't happen. Nobody noticed, and we'll get back into the spread. Okay. So this is my successes page. It's where I write anything that I felt I did well that day. I try to keep it to things that I've actually achieved myself rather than the things that just went well through a stroke of luck, because I want to remind myself every day that I am capable of doing things well and achieving my goals. I want to be my own personal cheerleader so that I can always rely on myself to keep me going when I hit a rough patch. So listing my accomplishments here every day improves my confidence and enables me to find the fortitude inside when things are getting tough. The improvement page is a place to list, you guessed it, any improvements that I think I could have made that day. I don't always fill this spread in because sometimes I feel like I really did do the best I could have under the circumstances of the day, or that things just went really well. But for the days I do list an improvement, when I look back on this page, I know that if anything has been repeated multiple times, then it's definitely something I need to pay more attention to. My voice is really starting to go, but we're going to power through. This page is my dream log. I have very, very vivid dreams, and usually several different dreams each night because I tend to wake up a lot. If I lie in one position too long, I get really, really sore and it wakes me up, so I have to sort of rotate through the night. But each time I go back to sleep, a new dream starts. Sometimes my dreams are really, really odd or really scary, but sometimes it's just as if I'm living out a normal day, which means that every now and again I have a memory of something happening and I'll talk to someone about it and then they'll say, That didn't happen. So I write my dreams down in the morning because it helps me to remember whether or not it's something that actually happened or if it's just something I've dreamt. Plus, if I have really awful nightmares, once I've written them down, I feel like I can forget it more easily, so it doesn't intrude on my day. Plus, this page is a great place to track if I had an episode of sleep paralysis or a false awakening. Excuse me. Okay, so we're on to my final spread. Oh God, I think I'm getting ill. um, we're on to my final spread, which is my first weekly setup. This is weird because when I started this video, I felt fine, and now I don't feel so good. So, yeah, it just shows how long I've been trying to edit this this narration. Right, yes. So, first weekly setup. It's a new layout that I've not tried before, but I really, really like it because it's got sections for everything. I started off by writing in the month at the top and the days the spread covers, and I decorated it with another of those little paper aeroplanes. Oh my goodness. Yes?
I just interrupted your video, didn't
It doesn't matter. Hang on. Sorry, that was my little man. Okay, so where did I get to? Yes, I've got the boxes, space for notes, work information, home information, personal information, obviously the days of the week and the weekend, and then I've got my mini calendar at the top because I like to highlight the week that I'm in so I can see the progression through the week. And that's pretty much it for this spread. I'm really sorry about the dodgy narration, but as I say, Christmas Eve, and I just wanted to get it out and done for you, so hopefully you don't mind. um, and now the cat's arrived. Oh my god. Hello. Yes, hello. So yes, that's the end of this video. We finally got there. I'll leave a link in the description for all the products that I used and for all the inspiration people that helped me create this spread. And I wish you a really, really, really Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful day, and if I don't speak to you before, I really hope 2019 gets off to a really good start for you, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for sticking with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!